JBH Boutique Care offers you a unique exclusive membership in our nationwide concierge medical services network. Hi everyone, I'm Dr. Judine Bontemps-Hill. I'm double board certified in family and obesity medicine. We pair exclusive personalized care with accessibility and convenience. A better way for you to receive immediate quality medical care. Whether at our main Orlando, Florida office, traveling across the U.S. or visiting the States, we bring you the best medical care without waiting for an appointment. Become a member today by calling 407-234-5282 or visit us online at jdhmeg1.com. JBH Boutique Care is proud to sponsor Sounds of the Diaspora, music and conversations with artists, and host Dion Parson every Tuesday, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, right here on Source TV Radio Network, WTSN, Washington, D.C.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to this week's episode of Sounds of the Diaspora, Artist to Artist, a conversation with yours truly, Dion Parson. I'm really excited about our guest tonight, someone that I've known for many, many years. He also attended Rutgers University and got his master's degree there. He's a trumpeter, educator, composer, arranger, especially for big band music, and he's the current director of jazz studies at the Northwestern University. Please join me in welcoming to the show the one and only Mr. Derrick Gardner.
Hello, hello.
Hey, Derrick, how you doing?
Oh, Brother Parson, what's going on, man?
I'm good, man. Good to see you. It's been a minute.
Oh, man, it's always a pleasure. Always a pleasure to see you, brother.
Yes, sir.
What's been going down in the VI?
You know, it's a lot going on down here. To be living in a small place like the Virgin Islands, I'm here at the University of the Virgin Islands. We got some great music happening here, bringing back some music, festivals and stuff like that, activities. So I'm really excited for what's happening, and we got to get you down here as well.
Oh yes, I would love it. I don't know if I get any work done down there, but
I hear you. But tonight is all about you. You're back in Chicago. You made a full circle. You were born in Chicago, and I met you in New York, and since then you've done a whole lot, man. You've traveled the world, lived in different places. So, did you ever think that music would have brought all of these different experiences and riches to you, while you was growing up?
I didn't, but I wasn't really thinking about it in as far as like what was going to be brought to me. I just when I was young, I just wanted to play the trumpet,
Right.
and man, I was just just infatuated with that instrument, and started off when I was 5 years old. Both my parents were musicians. My mother was a classical trained pianist and organist, and she choir director, and my father was jazz trumpeter and educator as well.
Okay.
And was on the road with Ray Charles band back in the '60s, and went out with Basie for a minute, and Woody Herman, and then settled in in Chicago, and taught here for a number of years. Was on the jazz scene here for many decades, and but I just wanted to play the horn, and that's all I wanted to do. Even as a little kid, I said, I don't want to do anything else. I just want to play the trumpet, and that translated into being a professional musician. And I just went for it.
That's great. So growing up in a family where both parents are musicians, you have a brother that plays also.
Yep. My brother Vincent Gardner, he's the lead trombonist in the Jazz at Lincoln Center Orchestra with Wynton Marsalis, and he's been with them for over 20 years now. And he's a fabulous trombonist, and he's doing great things uh, as well outside of Lincoln Center, and but like, especially in education, he started this thing called Jazz Houston, which is modeled after the Lincoln Center construct, and he's got a professional big band down there with a jazz series, and they have a youth jazz orchestra as well, and they fan out their students to go prepare them for going to college and majoring in music, and
Nice.
that's a wonderful thing he's doing down there.
That's great. So while you guys who's older, you or him?
I'm older. I
You're
like to say
older.
he's older, but I'm older.
So as a kid growing up, you guys, being both brass players, you guys practiced together a lot and shared a lot of ideas and listening, stuff that you guys was listening. It's funny that both of y'all are into jazz and doing great. It's
Yeah. We did a little bit of playing together in those formative years. I'm actually 7 years older than Vincent, and so I was kind of on my way out to college when he was still in junior high school, and and so and then when I come home from school, I did my undergraduate degree at Hampton University, and so when I come home, we get a chance to play together some, and but then during those years he was into some other things, as we all are during those teenage years, just kind of do some other stuff to see what you like, and he finally honed in and got with the trombone and just took it to the next level.
That's great. So I'm sure you had some type of influence on that as well, as being the big brother that you are.
I mean, yeah.
just a little. That's great, man. That's great. So you go to Hampton, you do your thing down there. Did you were in the jazz program? You did music education, right?
No, we had a jazz studies major there.
Oh, okay.
And and I was one of the few HBCUs that had a jazz studies major, and but I was being a music major and a brass player, you had to be in every band. So I was in marching band, getting beat up on the football field every weekend, and I was in the pep band, I was in the concert band, choir, the brass section for the choir, and there's any type of band that was there. I was in an orchestra.
You were in it.
I was there,
But that's good though, because a lot of times what I find, like, especially if you did jazz studies, what I find, like, with music education is, like, a lot of the kids focus so much on education that the performance part get pushed to the side. So it's great that you have that much playing experience. And when you left Hampton, we met in New York. We used to play Strowman's Monday night.
Yes, that's right. That's right. Wow, that was such a great gig, man.
Yeah. That was good times, man. We had a lot of fun up in there, man. We had different cats playing organ. It was an organ gig.
Yeah. And Showman's was probably one of the only organ clubs in New York during that time. That's the only band you could bring in there was an organ.
It was an organ band,
yeah.
And during that time, you were down at Rutgers doing your masters, and you studied with the great Fielder. Prof.
Yep. And wow, what an incredible life-changing experience. He really it was such a boost to my trumpet playing, and just the understanding of the instrument and the understanding of the body, and how the wind flows through the horn, and how you have to he just totally, it was a total recalibration of the body going to the trumpet, to the instrument and sound, and he was quite the trumpet guru.
Oh yeah. I met Prof when I got to Rutgers my first day back in 1985, and it was a life-changing experience. My first 5 minutes just talking with him, and Yeah. So
Yeah.
yeah, I know what you're saying. Our audience might be like, "Wow, what are they talking about?" But you have to be there.
Yeah, right.
You have to be there. So
Yeah.
you finish Rutgers. You on the road. You're on the road with some great bands, man. I remember you were doing a number of big bands, and that kind of became your thing for a minute, right?
Yeah.
You were
Yeah. I was recruited. Well, I started my master's at Indiana University before moving to New York. And I was out there with studying under David Baker. And and then I didn't finish out there. I got recruited into the Count Basie Orchestra, and I left school and went out on the road and moved to New York in 1991. And prior to joining the Basie band, I hadn't really traveled anywhere. And then I was not having going anywhere to being to I think 2 months later being on the Arsenio Hall show with the Basie band and with George Benson and John Hendricks and Bobby McFerrin and doing this thing with this collaborative performance on Arsenio Hall show. And then a month later we were in Europe doing the European Jazz Festival circuit with George Benson, promoting his doing the tour for his Big Boss Band album that the Basie band had done a year prior to me joining the band. And so it was like, going from doing nothing to all of a sudden just in the fast lane. And it was an incredible experience, man. Incredible.
That's great. That's great. And that led to a lot of, because you were always composing and writing, but that led to doing a lot of arranging for big band.
Yep. And I learned I had a lot of big band arranging mentors. My father being one of them, like probably the first one, and then of course with David Baker as well. But the real mentorship came from Frank Foster, who was the leader of the Count Basie Orchestra at the time. And funny story, I tell this all the time. We were on the road, on the bus, going from town to town, and Frank Foster would be in the front seat of the bus with a score pad and big music score pad with big band saves and a black felt tip pen, and he just be going, okay, saxophones, dee da dee da da da. Okay, trumpets, dee da dee da, trombone, dee da da, dee da 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 da, like that. No piano.
Wow.
No, but he's doing all the voicings. It's up in his head. Dee da da. I'm looking at this. I was like, man, what? And so I said, I gotta learn this stuff from him. So I went and got me some score paper, big pad, and and got me a pencil. I didn't get a black felt tip pen. So I wrote out my lead line in saxophones. Then went dee da dee da da. Okay, sax dee da, trumpets dee da, trombone dee da da, dee da. So I had about maybe 8 measures together. And so on one of those trips, about a month later, I only did 8 measures. So I went up to Foss and I said, "Hey, Foss, man, can you check this out just to see what what I'm dealing with here?" And he's like, "Oh yeah, okay. Let me see what you got." So he looked at it, and so he's said, "Okay." And so while he's looking at it, he reaches in his pocket and takes out the cap to his black felt tip pen, puts it in his pocket, and takes out his red pen and takes the pocket. Like, okay, why'd you put a beef right here? It's not supposed to be not red. So he put that, and over that you got the wrong chord, hit the wrong scale. That's not sure you got wrong. And he's doing all this stuff, and he's just what
wow.
the hell? And I was like, here, take this back and work on it. And so I rolled back to the back of the bus with my tail between my legs. Man, I was like, oh my God. So, but when I got to the gig, I got to the piano, I started, playing through what he had put down. I said, oh, wow, okay. And so then started working on it. And about a month later, I did my corrections, added some more measures, And I said, so I went to false like I was, like, oh, mighty
There
false.
you go.
I gave it to him, check it out. So he did the same thing, put the cap on his black pen, got the red pen out, and he's like, okay, all right, you can do that. That's okay. But that's wrong. Okay, this over here, that's wrong. But this could work if you do it like this. So I had less blood on my page this time. And
There was
I
some
was
improvement.
and that's us just going back and forth from the back of the bus to the front of the bus, and that's one of the main ways I learned how to arrange from one of the greatest arrangers on the planet, and and I use a lot of his teachings, if not all of his teachings, to this day.
That's great, man, because it's nothing about learning. I mean, classroom is good, but just doing it on that level is great. Learning from the best too, and he that was his specialty as well. So,
oh goodness, yeah,
that's why your writing sounds the way it is. It's amazing.
Oh, thank you very much, man. Thank you. Yeah.
But that's kind of been, when I hear Derrick Gardner, I hear two things. I mean, he's on the gig, but he did the arrangements. It's like it's like a package deal. That's what I hear. It's like, he shows up and he's passing out paper.
That's right. Oh,
It's a beautiful thing, man. It's a beautiful thing. Not everybody got that skill set to do that, and so I applaud you for doing that. And the big band has been, it's like a lost art form. So it's good that that's something that you've kept that tradition alive, and you shared some of your arrangements with me, and you've saved me a couple times. So thank you. I appreciate it.
Oh man, whatever you need, man, just let me know.
I appreciate it. So let's talk about Derrick the educator, because that's something that you hold a high standard with as well, and you've taught in a number of places. Can you share with our audience some of the places that you've taught at?
Well, I began kind of teaching, I guess, in some formal kind of organization in New York, teaching at places like Long Island University in Brooklyn, and New School, and taught at Juilliard for a couple semesters, private lessons, and directing an ensemble, like a small group ensemble. And then my first, I guess, real job was teaching at Ohio State University. I taught there for 1 year. Wasn't a permanent position. It was more of a lecturer's position, and so I would commute back and forth from Brooklyn to Columbus, Ohio. Every couple of weeks I go out there and teach and everything. And then I guess, and then beyond that, I was offered the jazz trumpet position at Michigan State University during the infancy of that jazz program. They have a wonderful jazz program happening now. So I taught there for 7 years, and then got what I thought was a better opportunity to teach up in Canada, and with bassist Steve Kirby, who was at one time was one of the A-list bass players in New York. I even played with Elvin Jones and Cyrus Chestnut's trio, and a number of people. And so, but he went up to University of Manitoba in Winnipeg, Manitoba, to start a jazz program, and they allowed him to build a faculty, and he brought me on as the jazz trumpet professor, and I stayed up there for 10 years, and then I came back to Chicago about 3 years ago when my dad got sick, and so I took a leave of absence from the school from University of Manitoba, and ended up retiring from there to be with him, and when he eventually passed away, and I decided to, I said, I've been away from Chicago long enough, and it's time for me to come back home. And so I decided to come back home and just jump in to the scene here. And then I wasn't even looking for a job I was there. I've been on a real scene since I left New York. I'm now I'm in Chicago. It's a real scene. I'm gonna hit it, and all of a sudden I got a phone call. Said, "Hey man, we want you to come with Northwestern and lead the program." I said, "What?" You know, it literally happened just like that. It just fell in my lap, and I said, "Man, I don't, I want to play now, And but then I said, then the other little person on my other shoulder was saying, "Well, you never directed a program before."
Right.
And I said, "You know what? That's you." I said, "You're right. I've never done a program before. I would like to, see what that feels like." And I said, "Okay, let me go ahead and give it a shot." And started teaching again, and I ended up really digging it, and and they've given me incredible support up there to develop the program, which is something that you need, when you get into it proves that you're not just there just to keep the program existing. They want the program to actually grow. So
right.
very honored to be a part of what's happening up there now.
That's great, man. Because I know that in our conversations, besides the performance component and the arranging component, we've always had that education conversation, and that was something I know you held dear to you. So I'm happy to see that you're back in the saddle, leading your own program, and having that rich support as well in your hometown, Chicago. It's important, man. It's important to have a home and be able to grow and build and do the right thing in your backyard. So congratulations.
Sure.
Yeah, on that. That's a huge win there. So
Thank
yep.
you. Thank you.
I'm
Thank
happy
you.
for you, man. I'm really happy. I know you're gonna do some great things out there. We're gonna be hearing about it, and all over, even all the way down to the Virgin Islands. So
That's right. That's right. That's right.
but the Derrick Gardner the side of you that I know the most and enjoyed is being on the bandstand, and you've
Yeah.
again going back to even Showman's, we
Yeah.
played a lot of music, we've done a lot of great things together, and you shared some wonderful music with us tonight, and I think our audience is going to be in for a good treat for the stuff that you've shared. You have a number of recordings out, and I think the first recording you shared with us is a song called "Still I Rise," and that's from that's original, correct?
Yes. Yes. That's the title track from my big band recording. The name of my big band is called Derrick Gardner and the Big Dig Band. And please say that name slow. Don't say it too fast. So I'll just leave it. I'll leave it there. And so, yeah, sing it in now. It's got, I get a lot of applause from the audience here when we do that, But anyway, it has the recording was done in Canada. The great thing about Canada is that they have tremendous support for their artists across the board. Any type of art, and there's all these government grants that are available to people who are artists, and so I was able to get upwards of about I got 2 grants. 2 big grants while I was there. For the big band record, I got upwards of about $85,000 to do a big band recording, and which covered the whole pre-production, post-production, touring, video, all everything, publicity. It was just everything was covered, and then I got another grant for the small group record I did. My sextet is called Derrick Gardner and the Jazz Prophets, and the latest recording with that is called Pan Africa. And so I got close to the same amount of money to do the same thing to put that recording out. But this one, Still I Rise, is dedicated to the wonderful poet Maya Angelou and her poem Still I Rise.
Great, great. That's a beautiful story. So let's check out Derrick Gardner and the big band. Still I Rise, dedicated to Maya Angelou. Still I Rise.
1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2.
That's Derrick Gardner, Still I Rise. Big band. The big band.
Big band. Big band. Now the story behind that, the story behind that name is that the band is tied to a jazz magazine that we had up in Winnipeg called Dig Magazine.
Right.
So Steve Kirby and myself decided, said, man, we ought to have a band that's tethered to the magazine, and so that's what we did. We created, and the band when we created the band, it was we fashioned it as a composers jam session. We met every 2 weeks at this venue, and we invite composers to just bring their stuff in and read it in front of an audience, and kind of did it like that. We crashed and burned quite a few times, but
that's different. That's how I'm gonna put yourself out there, huh?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. But I'm sure it was fun. I'm sure it was a lot of fun.
Oh yeah, we had a great time.
That's great. So, is big band one of your favorite ensembles to perform in?
Yes. It's not actually my favorite, but I love the power that you get out of a big band,
Right.
And when you finish arranging something that you're able to have performed in a big band, and especially when it gets wound up to the big ensemble shout, it just can knock you over, depending on how aggressive you get with the figures and everything, and you can go from that to a very minimalist usage of maybe 3 or 4 instruments out of the whole 17-piece orchestra. And so I love the dynamic range of what you can do with it. But a big band is limiting as far improvisationally. And so the smaller group is I think has more freedom,
Right.
And
Definitely.
so that's my favorite, I think, to be able to perform with my sextet.
Yeah. Great,
Yeah.
great. We have a listener that said love swing and the big band. Not big band. So
Right.
that as we move on, but I want to get to some more music because you share some wonderful music with us. The next song that you share with us is called "A Ride to the Other Side."
Yes.
Yeah.
That
So let's well, go ahead. Tell us about "A Ride to the Other Side" quickly.
Oh yeah, well, the title track from that recording, and it's simply named after a guy. When I was teaching at Michigan State, drummer there, we were doing a summer jazz camp somewhere at this community college, and I parked way on the other side of the college where we were actually doing some teaching. And so at the end of the day, he was like, I was like, man, where'd you park? I said, I'm way over on the other side. So come on, I'll give you a ride to the other side. I was like, yeah, man, I like it. Yeah. Really, where
There we
from?
go. I love it. I love how you come up with the names. Hey, man, it's reality.
Right.
Let's and you name the album after "A Ride to the Other Side."
That's it, right? That
All
sounds man, people don't know what it's about. It's
All right. Well, let's check it out. "A Ride to the Other Side."
Thank you.
Right to the other side.
Right. All right. Let's
Yeah.
take a ride.
Who's in that band?
That was Donald Edwards on drums. I was Rodney Whitaker on bass, Anthony Wanzi on piano, and then myself, Brother Vincent, and Rob Dixon on tenor saxophone.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nice. Great. Swinging hard, man. Our audience loves it. It's a great playing. Loving the show. Loving the show. So that's great.
Yeah. Yeah, man. Appreciate it.
Your arrangements are off the chain. Great horn into it. Yeah. So these are projects that you did a while ago, but you just mentioned earlier that when you were in Canada, you got a grant and you were able to travel to the motherland and do some research over there and put a project together. Can you tell us about that and what how that all came about before we play the next song?
Yes. Well, in 2021, I was on sabbatical, and it was right after right after the pandemic, where the rules started kind of loosen up, and I wanted to do some research on the foundations and the beginnings of jazz music, the real roots of jazz music beyond field hollers and work songs of during the time of slavery. And so I taught jazz history for 10 years at the University of Manitoba. So this really piqued my interest. And so I went to, I wasn't really sure of which West African country to go to. And I settled on Ghana. I discovered that there was like this huge focus on Ghana at the time. With in 2019, the president of Ghana declared the year of return as the 400th anniversary of the first captured Africans to set foot on American soil at Point Comfort, Virginia, which is Hampton, Virginia, basically.
Okay.
And so I said, well, okay, I'm going to Ghana. I don't know anybody in Ghana. And so how am I going to do that? And so come to find out, we have a chapter of yours and my fraternity, Omega Psi Phi Fraternity Incorporated, which is they have a chapter in Ghana, Kai chapter. And so I said, oh, we got brothers over there. Let me go and let me check them out. So I found a number on online, and I called one of the brothers over there and told him what I'm trying to do. So I'm trying to come over there, do this, that, and the other, trying to perform, trying to do this, that, the other. And so he said, okay, we got to put you in touch with one of our chapter brothers. His name is Diallo Sombri. And I said, okay. So I got in touch with him, told him what I'm trying to do. Yeah, man, look, I'm trying to do this, that, and the other, blah, 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 and blah. And so I was able to get over there and do some performances, and I put together, I wrote some music for those live performances, which I ended up recording in my latest release, which is called Pan Africa, and it's a mix of West African musical culture and jazz, and or at least the way that I was able to blend it together, and so that was the product of it. I'm very proud of that recording. It was a very probably the most meaningful and hard hitting recording for me, as far as like my connection of my own being and my connection to the diaspora and just my own existence. Finding out who I am as a person of African descent, and which spurred me to do my own DNA testing through AfricanAncestry.com, not 123andMe or Ancestry.com. With the AfricanAncestry.com goes much more deeper into it, and you're able to see what tribe of people you came from, and also the country and region where you came from. So I was able to see where I was descended from Sierra Leone, and through the Mende tribe.
Okay.
And that was just so grounding to me, and just to feel a huge void to be able to say, yeah, where are you from? Well, my family's from Greenville, Mississippi, which is where my father's from. But okay, where are you really from? Well, Greenville, Mississippi. That's where my you can't because of the slave trade, we can't go any back, but through DNA testing, you can go all the way back, So it was very, very meaningful to me.
That's great, man. I'm happy you made that journey and connected back to the diaspora. That's one of the reasons why I really wanted you on the show, to tell that part of your story, because not too many people have the opportunity to make that type of journey and discover, and be able to document it. And I know you took some great photos and videos, but to document it and have a product that can stand the test of time, and that's part of your legacy. So that's great, man. You shared this song with us entitled "The Sixth Village," so I would like to play this for our audience now. Yeah, let's check it out. The Sixth Village. Yeah. That's The Sixth Village by Derrick Gardner. Sounds of the Diaspora. That fits right in, bro.
Wow, thank you. Thank
Perfect.
you. And the backstory behind that tune is that the African Union, which is basically like the UN of Africa, the African Union has 5 regions of Africa: North, South, East, West, and Central. And then they more recently, about 2 years ago, recognized the Diaspora as the 6th region of Africa, and so that tune represents the 6th region, and entitled the sixth village.
The Sixth Village, great, man, great. Awesome. Like our guests just commented, awesome. Brother Gardner, we're out of time, man. This has been so informative, and man, I'm enjoying. I definitely have to have you back, man, because
thank you, man.
And this album that you just released, Pan Africa, like I said, I went online and checked out the whole album, man. It's just beautiful, and I really would love to bring you back on just to just to be able to share that with our audience. You know what I'm saying?
Thank you, man. I really appreciate that, man. It's so great to reconnect with you, man. And
definitely.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So before we head out, let our audience know how they can reach you, they can follow you, they can check you out where you're playing, your social media stuff.
Social media, D Gardner Jazz on Instagram. I have 3 Facebook pages. One for the Derrick Gardner and the Jazz Prophets. If you do a search on that. Also the Big Dig Band, dig like a shovel. Derrick Gardner Big Dig Band on Facebook, and also Impact Music Incorporated, which is my publishing company, and I feature all of my arrangements that you'll be able to get the link to go directly to my website. My website, which is DerrickGardnerMusic.com. And feel free to reach out, say hello, purchase some music, listen to some music, and we just have a good old time,
Yes, sir. Well, it's been a pleasure, man. Again, you have a lot more music we want to share, so we're going to do a volume 2 with the wonderful, talented, creative Derrick Gardner, and we will have you back in the future shortly. But in the meantime, you be safe, brother. Continued success to you. Continued success on your new project and at your new position at the Director of Jazz Studies at Northwestern University. It's been a pleasure having you on the show, bro, and look forward to having you back.
All right, most definitely. Thank you, brother. Appreciate it.
All right. That was the great Derrick Gardner, and we had a great time with him. He shared some great music and his backstory and all of the wonderful things he's been doing, going back to Africa and his African ancestry.com. That's great, man. So we'll have him back with some more wonderful music for you. But I would like to take the time to invite you to join me next week as we bring to the sounds of the diaspora another dear friend of mine. This gentleman is out here doing great things on the music scene, making a name for himself, and playing some amazing drums, man. Come back and join me next week as we present Mr. Dion Gully, Sounds of the Diaspora. Wonderful drummer. See you next week. You guys take care. All the best.
JBH Boutique Care offers you a unique exclusive membership in our nationwide concierge medical services network. Hi everyone, I'm Dr. Judine Bontemps Hill. I'm double board certified in family and obesity medicine. We pair exclusive personalized care with accessibility and convenience. A better way for you to receive immediate quality medical care. Whether at our main Orlando, Florida office, traveling across the U.S. or visiting the States, we bring you the best medical care without waiting for an appointment. Become a member today by calling 407-234-5282 or visit us online at jdhmeg1.com. JBH Boutique Care is proud to sponsor Sounds of the Diaspora, music and conversations with artists, and host Dion Parson every Tuesday, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, right here on Source TV Radio Network, WTSN, Washington, D.C.
What does it mean to get the